So at the start of this year, I saw this trend. So at the start of this year, there was a trend where we compared ourselves to who we were in 2016 versus who we are now in 2026. And it made me wonder, how much different am I now in the year 2026 versus me in 2016? So who was I in 2016? I was in 8th grade going on ninth, so that's freshman year of high school, and I had just started a YouTube channel. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I just know I wanted to have a YouTube channel. I think I wanted to stream Black Ops 3 Zombies on it. And I still have a lot of videos of Black Ops 3 gameplay on the channel still up. But I didn't really have much thought of what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be when I was 13, 14 back then. So now I'm 23, going on 24. And this is what I have to say about living your life and being who you want to be. So, I'm going to make these videos primarily for my kids because that's my mission in life, is to invest in my future and the generations to come after me. That's what I want to do with these videos. So, every time I've got some new ball knowledge, I'm going to drop it on you guys. So, what better place to start than with to just start living your life? So, as far as living your life goes, where do you start? What I figured out what I wanted to do with my life was after I graduated high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was in high school. I thought maybe I wanted to be a police officer like my dad, just for money or something to do after I graduated. But then I actually researched it a little bit. I learned the benefits that I'd receive as a police officer once I got my degree versus before I finished my degree. So I went to college and I got my degree in 2024. But while I was in high school, after playing in a band class for about 3 years at the point I graduated, I figured that I wanted to be a film composer. So that's what I do now. I score films. I also do sound design, as well as go on film sets as a boom operator, so I'm the guy who holds the mic over the set, and I record dialogue, I record Foley every now and again, that's like sound effects, where a guy takes a bat to a watermelon or something, or, just like jingles his keys in front of the microphone. You get what I point. You get my point. I knew that I wanted to do that once I actually listened to a film soundtrack. And so after listening to a film soundtrack, I figured that I wanted music to be my major in college because that's what I wanted to do later in life. College taught me a lot about what I know now about writing music, directing a band, working in a studio, and arranging music digitally. After I graduated college, I figured out that I wanted to teach in a band room. So that's a pretty recent development. So my day job now is working in my old high school band room as an assistant teacher certain days of the week, and honestly, I love it. I had no idea while I was in college that I wanted to teach, but this job is what's helped me realize that I want to teach music, getting to connect with the band and work with the students individually. Also, teaching isn't going to get in the way of me scoring films and working on set, so now at least I have a money making method where I get to enjoy doing what I like to do, which is making music and also leading a band. So, my next piece of advice would be to get good at doing what you want to do as fast as you can. So, in the vein of doing what you want to do, once you figure out what that is, just get good at doing it ASAP. Because that way you'll be much harder to replace, and when you show up for your team and contribute a lot to them, you'll be an asset to them. You can even apply this logic at other jobs if you want extra money, but I would say be careful about working those jobs if they're not important to you long term or if they're just easy money, because that's a very slippery slope. Another thing I want to touch on is getting good at doing what you want to do as fast as you can. So, in the vein of doing what you want to do, once you figure out what that is, get good at doing it ASAP because you'll be much harder to replace that way. And when you show up for your team and contribute a lot to it, you'll be an asset to them. This logic can even be applied at other jobs if you want extra money, but just be careful about working those jobs if they're not important to you or if they're just easy money because that's a really slippery slope. So that brings me to my next point, which is working jobs like in food service or retail, it's just easy money. No one actually works those jobs because they want to, let's be honest. If you're a charming enough waiter, you're going to make more money through tips. If you're making minimum wage anyway in retail or food service, you're just making easy money. But easy money, ironically, comes at a higher personal cost long term that I've found out the hard way. Getting sucked into working or staying at a job that you don't really care about just because you think you need money or you need to make money fast, like in the easiest way possible, can genuinely get you close to ruining your life. I've worked in food service for about 5 years since 2020. So as soon as I graduated high school, I got a job and I hated it. Each job I've worked got so stale in a matter of weeks. I couldn't keep myself happy or remind myself that I needed to keep working this job to make more money so I can, actually get on to doing what I want to do, which is making music. After a while of working these jobs, I just started making music. I don't want to sound like a broken record or anything, but if you want to do something, just do it. I realized that after making more and more songs and film scores, and I realized eventually that I can just keep doing this and putting music out there. Putting music out there isn't instantly going to make you money, nor will streams at any given level, but letting people hear my music has gotten me better and better movies to work on. It's gotten me more and more of a following as well, and when the money started coming in, I realized that I'm competing against other people who want to do the same thing as me. Sometimes I'd be discouraged by other people who were clearly better at making music than me, but I remembered that I'm not on the clock to beat them. In that vein, a good thing to remember is that there's always going to be a bigger fish. There's always someone who's been doing what you do longer, and they do it better, or they might know more about the craft than you do. But it's equally important to remember that you're not racing the clock to make six figures before they do, doing what you do. You might have heard it's not a race, it's a marathon before, and it rings true, especially for work like music making. These words don't only apply to the music industry and music making in general, but apply what I'm telling you to your own life. Remember and take note of everything you hear when you're figuring out who you're meant to be, because life is way too short for you to play by the book or follow formulas of how to make safe money while suppressing your ambitions. The risk is too great to not be who you're meant to be, and playing it safe will only get you so far as realizing your true passions goes. Playing it safe is total complacency with the future. There's no drive to do anything risky. You have no ambition. There's nothing major or significant. Playing it safe is total complacency with the future. There's no drive to do anything risky, no ambition, no major or significant prospects in your life. And some people live this way and can make it work for themselves insofar as making money goes. But while they're making money, they quietly wither away. Their soul dies every single day. They have to drive an hour from home and then an hour back from work 5 days a week, sitting behind a screen all day, crunching numbers and writing emails. They're not happy. No one is. No one that works that kind of job is happy. That's not a lifestyle I want for myself, least of all you, the viewer of the video. I mean, at the same time, to their credit, though, it's guaranteed money. You know exactly how much you're going to make when you're on salary with a bonus here and there, and nothing ever really changes. It's safe. When you don't have a guaranteed income, you're looking for ways to make money. It's not safe. It's volatile. Anything could change at any given moment, so this will involve you having to take risks, and you're going to fail a lot before you find out how to make something work. Don't take up a job or a career you're not passionate about just because it gives you money, because it's going, as aforementioned, to wither your soul away, and your passions will fall by the wayside, and you'll never truly be who you're meant to be. Even if you feel like you're making the right choice by working these jobs. Then another thing, what are the right choices? Who can tell you what the right choices are but you? There are good choices and bad choices with varying degrees of what is good and what's bad. Everything is nuanced, and no one can really tell you that you're doing what you're doing wrong. They can't speak for you. There's probably some bonehead out there watching this video who thinks I'm telling them to go rob a bank, and if they don't get caught, hey, it was a good choice after all. I'm not saying choose between good deeds and total moral bankruptcy. I'm just saying weigh the risks of, doing something like starting your business where you live, or gauge how long it's going to take for you to get to where you want to be, and, what you'll have to do to get there. But who else can give you that timeline for when you'll make it? Because it's not anyone else's call to tell you when or where you can start your business. It's up to you to make informed decisions and actualize your goals and aspirations. You need to be something of consequence for yourself, if no one else. So I guess after all that, what I want to say is, compared to where I was in 2016, honestly, very little discipline, very little knowledge of the real world, of course, but what can you do when you're 13 as far as knowledge goes? Compared to who I am now, I can honestly say that I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of myself for turning my life around and not remaining the same undisciplined kid with bad grades and a gaming addiction that I was 10 years ago. I can honestly say that I'm proud of where I'm going, and I'm automatically proud of my kids for listening to these words and being who they're meant to be, being who they want to be, because they have their own agency, they are their own people, and honestly, the most I could wish for them is to be who they're meant to be. The most I can wish for them is to do what they want to do in life and invest in their family, because that's what I'll be doing. Is I want to invest in my family. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. My mission is to make enough money for my family to use to finance their own goals. That's what I want to do. I'm not going to just make 7 or 8 figures and then hoard it in a Roth IRA or something. I want to make enough money for my family to be who they want to be. That's the message, is realize your passions, realize your goals, and show up for yourself. Be the person that you know you're meant to be.